Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Plenty of Manchester United chat to get through today on Kobbie Mainoo, hailing Erik ten Hag's impact at Manchester United. Also news on Joshua Zirkzee, and we want to discuss them Premier League fixtures, so stay tuned for that one later on in the video. But get involved in today's chat because we will discuss some of your comments. First of all, I'm going to start with Kobbie Mainoo, hailing Erik ten Hag's impact this season, or shall I say last season.
Yeah, well, I looked at Kobbie Mainoo again, what a measured and what you would call a professional interview there. I was surprised they actually brought him up there because I knew some of the comments, some of the questions what would come out would be about Erik ten Hag and Man United. But he showed he's not fazed when he came to the questions, and he gave some perfect answers. He believes in Erik ten Hag and he loves what Erik ten Hag's done for him. That's what I took out of it. Erik ten Hag gave him a peace of mind. Love it. I just love the interview and how cool he is when he's speaking. It's so clear for such a young man who's come such a long way, really, in such a short space of time.
Yeah, he was saying how grateful he is with the trust that he had in him last season to pick him in the starting 11.
Yeah, he trusts. I mean, you look at Kobbie Mainoo and you go back this time last year, nearly this time last year, and he got injured on the tour, and it must have been tough for him and everything. So the interaction and the way he's speaking about Erik ten Hag, they must really get on well. And it's no surprise, really, because I remember Erik ten Hag talking a long time ago, maybe 10 months, 12 months ago, and he was talking about bringing Kobbie Mainoo in straight away. And that injury obviously curtailed his season's progress. So they both got trust in each other, and Kobbie Mainoo clearly has a relationship with Erik ten Hag, and that bond I don't think will be broken. And he did say, like, he's got a peace of mind knowing that Erik ten Hag's there when he gets back. So going forward, this kid has got a bright future, because off the field and the way he conducts himself is absolutely perfect. Which is nice to see.
Yeah, got Haley's mentality as well. Kobbie Mainoo for suffering that injury in pre-season last year, and then coming back, fighting his way back, and getting in the team as well. Because we've seen it over the years with youngsters. They suffer a big injury and then they sort of like curtail. They kind of flatline sometimes. Some of these so-called rising stars, and he's just took like a duck to water last season.
Yeah, I think it's the confidence what Erik ten Hag's instilled with him, as if to say, "Don't rush. You'll be all right. You're going to be the man. I trust you." And obviously Kobbie Mainoo, he trusts Erik ten Hag because he's stuck by his word. Didn't rush him back, brought him into the football, took him out, brought him back in, and then he sort of like got his legs on the field. And we can all see what's happening with Kobbie Mainoo. He is class. So at the end of the day, this year, I think he's looking forward to it and working with Erik ten Hag. And he says that.
Yeah, you've seen after the FA Cup final as well, the way Erik ten Hag come on the pitch, hugging Garnacho, Mainoo, the younger players, and they clearly respond to him. Do you think a lot of the younger players in that squad look up to Erik ten Hag and take on board his instructions?
I think they clearly do. Mainoo's took on board. The other players, the younger players, have done exactly the same. Erik ten Hag seems to have a bond with the young players. He gives them sort of like a free rein. Get out there, express yourself. I trust you. And when you talk to someone like Kobbie Mainoo and you say, I trust you on that field, go out there and do what you do in training, in pre-season games and all that. Go out there, express yourself, and the freedom. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it definitely with Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho and Hoyland, because they are the young breed coming through and they're expressing themselves. They're not getting it right. And I don't think Erik ten Hag, especially with Kobbie Mainoo, is putting the pressure on him to be perfect. He's learning his trade, still a young lad, long way to go. But the signs are all good on and off the field for Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah, a lot of yous in the chat I've just noticed. I don't know where it's come from, but everyone's slagging down Talk Sport. And some of the comments in there I do totally agree with. And I do go back to when Erik ten Hag said after that FA Cup final about over here in England, they have a tendency to big up players, especially the younger players, because they want to bring them back down. And we did see that with Kobbie Mainoo after that international game against Iceland, that friendly, especially in the Telegraph, giving him a rating of 4, trying to put it down to him for the Iceland goal.
Yeah, well, it's open season, okay, on Manchester United. Open season, which I'll go into more in a bit. But at the end of the day, we expect that. It's not a shock. But to blame someone like they did, certain media outlets, especially TalkSport, they go at United and they'll pick on United players because it gets clicks. It's to be expected. Don't be shocked by it, but it is, in my opinion, disgusting, and it's getting worse.
Dan Fenton says, just shows that Erik ten Hag does have respect from the players. Total respect, though, from Mainoo.
Yeah, he does have respect. Unfortunately, we know that these certain players what haven't had respect while Erik ten Hag's been there, and that's the problem for Manchester United, and they've got to iron that out and get them people out of the club so Erik ten Hag can work and get this team playing football and get the style, what he wants, the tactics. He's got to get that right. He's got to get the players doing it. But it's going to be hard work. But it's a lot easier if you've got respect of the players. And Kobbie Mainoo and his other young players there, they've got the respect for him.
Yeah, we say that. Keith Stitt in the chat says, Mainoo, Garnacho and Højlund, young, hungry, with huge potential. Can we also add Ahmad into that as well? I still want to see a lot more of Ahmad to judge him overall as a player, but from little what we did see last season, especially here against Liverpool, you want to see more of that, don't you? Because he's another one who looks like calm in possession with the ball.
Yeah, listen, I watched Ahmad, and when he run at players, like you say, that Liverpool game was outstanding, the part he played in it. But when he runs at players, they're frightened, and we're not seeing as much as that as we'd like. We used to see that at Old Trafford from Manchester United, where they went at players, and there is nothing more fearful for a defender to have someone coming running at you, and Ahmad does that. Very, very tricky player. But at the end of the day, you talk about respect Erik ten Hag gets. I think he gets that off Martinez as well. I think Martinez is right behind him. And I think Martinez with the young players as well, they seem to get along absolutely fantastically. He's got the enthusiasm. Martinez, the same as what the young players have. We've seen that after the cup final, the way Martinez celebrated with Erik ten Hag, and the young players did the same. So I think there's a core group of players there, right? And you just need adding to it. And Ahmad could be another one throughout the season. I don't think Ahmad will get a regular starting place early on, but once he gets in and given the chance, I think Ahmad has been here long enough now, and I think it's time for him to grab the opportunity if he's given it, and I think he will be given it.
Should be a huge season for Ahmad, but for me, when you look at him as well in the team when he's playing, he's one of the only players really on the wide players who's constantly looking forward, but to link up with the centre forward. We had problems last season, the wide players having a tendency not to cross the ball to Højlund, but with Ahmad, he always looks to play in with the forward.
I look at Ahmad, he's not had regular places in the team, and I think he's still got a long way to go, to be honest. I'm not hyping him up. I think it's 50-50 whether he actually makes it at Manchester United. There is a doubt about him, but the thing is, he has shown glimpses of what you want from a Manchester United player, and I just hope that he's able to prove it. But like I say, 50-50 as far as I'm concerned.
The thing is as well, though, you've got Garnacho and Mainoo, for young players, they've sort of set the bar as well, to make it into this Manchester United starting 11 as well. So Ahmad's got to put his level onto what they're doing, or even higher as well.
Yeah, he has got to put his level higher, but what it is with Ahmad, once he's given an opportunity, if he's given an opportunity, he has to cement it. And we've seen many, many players at Manchester United given opportunities, okay, whether they've been injured or they've just come into the team and they've not took it. We've seen plenty of young players in Manchester United come in and then just fade away.
Yeah, I just think Ahmad, with Erik ten Hag's style, a bit of a possession-based football, I just think he's perfect for it. And let's just hope he knuckles down, has a good pre-season, injury-free, and let's see what the start of the season brings. But going on to a bit of transfer news as well, and it's Joshua Zirkzee, and Manchester United have asked for info on his salary. They're also looking at maybe paying his 40 million release clause to Bologna. Now, it's a player who I've not heard of, to be honest with you, until a couple of weeks ago. Any of yous out there actually do know more about him than we do, please get it in the chat.
Yeah, I've not heard much about him. I look at this, the news what came out yesterday, especially from Ornstein. He's turned around and said, well, it looks like there's an opportunity because there's a breakdown with what it looked like there was going to be a transfer to Milan. That seems to have broken down. United have had conversations with his agents, so there's an opportunity there. There's a release clause. I think it's 40 million euros, works out 35 million pounds. So I think there's a conversations going there. How far them conversations will go, whether they actually go between the two clubs, I'm not too sure. But I look at him. I've only seen one or two things, so I'm no expert on him. But I look at him. I look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, what they want. 23 years of age, this lad. And at the end of the day, he fits the bill, fits the age group.
Well, he's got a high ceiling still to improve here at Manchester United.
High ceiling. Well, there's an opportunity to become a better player. So at the end of the day, nice young player, nice little fee. With someone who's got potential. So at the end of the day, that's what they're looking for in him, potential to grow.
I still don't expect Manchester United, though, to pay the actual fee for the release clause. I'd still expect them, if they're putting a bid in, to go lower me. You know, especially with what we're seeing in the reports about the bids they've put in for Jarrad Branthwaite as well.
I look at this opportunity, and I think United have to jump on it and grab it quickly and deal with it quickly, because the longer it goes on, the opportunity will go somewhere else. So they have to do, and we've said, people out there have said, we need signings now. We need them now. We need people to come into the club, people to get out of the club. This kid, opportunities there because a breakdown with Milan over the transfer and money and everything. I don't know whether it's to do with the agent, but United need to grab it now before they lose it. Yeah. If they actually want him.
I did see, I'm sure a lot of us out there did as well, Ibrahimovic last week talking about Zirkzee and the huge potential that he's got, and he had full of admiration for him as well. So when a striker who was like Ibrahimovic, you know, it's only a good thing to...
Well, when a player like Zlatan speaks about a centre forward like that, saying he's got it to come, he'll improve and everything else like that, you have to stand up and listen to someone in the game who was quality, really.
In the Gazzetta dello Sport over there, they did actually say that one of the sticking points would be his agent, Kia Jarabkin, and he wanted an actual fee of £12.6 million to facilitate the deal. Now, we've been bent over backwards in the past with agents before. I can't see Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos taking any of that.
Well,
surely.
No, listen, they don't want to be mugged off. They've said that. United have been mugged off God knows how many times in the past. They're going to do things differently. That's why I'd like to get this deal done quickly. And if he's not going to back down from the quoted fee, what the agent wants of 12 million, even if it's 8 million, is that too much for Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos? Well, we're going to see soon. So let's get the conversations over with as quickly as possible so we all know where we are. And if he's not the right man because they don't want to pay certain things, then just move on, quickly identify someone else and let's get it done.
Yeah, Bob Nan says, yeah, it's that dodgy agent that used to work with Tevez. And I was actually trying to think, where have you heard his name from? And you've got it there, absolutely bang on, mate. And Stephanie in the chat says, Zirkzee gives me Dimitar Berbatov vibes. Well, if he's anything like him, it'd be great to get him here at Manchester United.
Well, Berbatov there, give him the ball at his feet, and he was just a wonder, Berbatov. I think a lot of people underrated Berbatov. So if he's anywhere near the potential of Berbatov, then go and get him, stop the messing about, get the deal done. And if it's too much, then move on. And really, if it is too much, paying the agent or the fee, right? You should know that straight away and move on.
Do you think, look, if it's Zirkzee or another centre forward that we do bring in, do you think they're looking at bringing someone in to actually start the games for Manchester United and maybe put Højlund on the bench and just bring him in for a couple of games and leave him out for 3 games? Or do you think it's just going to be, right, lads, battle it out for that number 1 spot?
I think what it is, when you look at the start of the season, it's who you've got there. Okay, will the tactics change? The personnel may change, so everything could change, and they might just have 2 young centre forwards there right throughout the season. A few games here, a few games there, have a rest. At the end of the day, we're in the Europa League, so there's something to go for there. There's 2 other cup competitions. You need 2 strikers, and United, back in the good old days, they had 4 strikers, so there is no problem having 2 strikers. We know that. Really, we should have 3.
Just seen something from Paul Ince earlier today. I'm not too sure if he come out with his comments yesterday, but he was kind of giving a warning on Jarrad Branthwaite and basically saying that, Manchester United in the past have made these mistakes on signing players based off having one good season.
Yeah, but you're talking about a 21-year-old lad who has got a lot of potential. He's developing his football. He's playing at Everton there, and it's been a tough season where he's been outstanding defending. So at the end of the day, I think he's talking about older players. But Paul Ince coming in, sort of like criticising Branthwaite as if to say he's overrated just because of one season. I think that's very, very unfair. Typical of Paul Ince, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot what Paul Ince. Yeah, I've heard a lot of what Paul Ince has said over the years, and he seems to be throws it in against United on a regular basis. And this is just throwing something in when it's unnecessary. There is no need for it to go at a young lad who's 21 and had one good season. He's 21. You expect him to progress and become better, not worse.
Yeah, do you think that's a deal, though, we will actually get done? What was it, 35 million plus 8 million add-ons we've offered Everton for Branthwaite? Do you think we'll go higher?
I think that conversation's still carrying on. I think they'll push for it. I think they've earmarked him. And for that first player to come out a few weeks ago, he wants Manchester United. Yeah. Okay? So I think the player himself and his agent will be putting pressure on Everton as time goes on. They're in trouble financially. So at the end of the day, they'll get a deal done. That's my belief, because the player wants to come. I don't think he wants to go anywhere else. So they need the money. They need to offload somebody. And Branthwaite has been talking to United for quite a while. So I do expect it to get done.
TalkSport copying it still in the chat. ESPN are now copying it. And rightly so, to be fair. I totally agree with a lot of your comments coming in. But Sky Sports are now going to copy it. Premier League fixture lists. Now, you actually phoned me yesterday saying, look, have you seen the fixtures? And honest to God, I was just hearing rah, 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 rah down the phone. I had to take the phone away from my ear, put it on loudspeaker, because he was just absolutely losing it on the phone. And to be honest, the little bit that I did hear from you, I thought, you know what, he's absolutely bang on. So we're going to discuss that tomorrow, meaning today. So yeah, you take the dance floor.
Listen, we're all unhappy about the way the media are acting and everything, right? But when the fixture list come out, okay, and then it was put out there that Manchester United are the first live game on the Friday night. Look, It's on Sky Sports. It's the Premier League. The Premier League, right, is the most watched league in the world. It's regarded as one of the best leagues in the world, okay? Manchester City have just won 4. It's unprecedented, okay, in the Premier League to win 4 titles on the trot. Manchester City are going to go for the fifth on the trot, okay? And what do? They put Manchester United against Fulham, the first one, to promote the Premier League. A team has won 4 titles, going for the 5th, and they put 2 mid-table sides out. And that's for one reason only, because the agenda is to attack Erik Ten Hag from day one. What are they going to talk about, Manchester United? Oh, they scored loads of goals. We know they didn't. Oh, we only let so many goals in. We know they didn't. They let loads in.
Yeah, you had a great season last season in the Premier League. You know, there's no positivity there, is there?
There is nothing positive to talk about. Erik Ten Hag, managers being spoken to, he's still in a job. How long will he be out of a job? The agenda is set from day one, and Sky Sports have made it that way. You've, in the chat, I've just been going on about TalkSport and other outlets, right, having a go at Manchester United. That's the agenda, and Sky Sports and the Premier League have set it for the whole season, okay? It is a disgrace putting Manchester United on against Fulham. If you put them on, say, on the Sunday or say on the Saturday, okay, it wouldn't be as big. But the start of the Premier League, the most watched league in the world, they've got Manchester United against Fulham, 2 mid-table sides, and they have not put City on to start to promote the product of the Premier League and Sky Sports. I cannot...
So you think they'll actually want Erik Ten Hag out there? They'll want the conversation, the interview with him before the games, after the games, of like what's gone on over the summer with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, looking for other managers, and they want the clicks off that.
They want the clicks off it, definitely. Yeah. There is nothing positive.
And they're obviously hoping that Manchester United do start by either drawing or getting beat, so they can then all of a sudden start the momentum of
they're going to start it. They're going to start it, okay? The pundits will slag off United. Yeah. They'll slag off the tactics, what Erik ten Hag did. We know at times the tactics was bad. Okay, there was poor attitude by players. So any players what they think have got poor attitude and still there, they will just go on. Nothing's changed. That's how they'll say it. Okay, like I say, conceding goals, not scoring goals. How long can Erik ten Hag last? What happens if he loses tonight against Fulham? Pressure on Erik ten Hag. That's what they'll be saying. You know, he'll be getting sacked if any more games like this and all that. You know, that's what's coming. So just.
And that's all based on last season in the Premier League and obviously what's gone on through the summer, with it also coming out even from ten Hag's mouth that they were looking for other managers, or at least talking to other managers.
They were talking to other managers. The pressure's on Erik ten Hag. That's all they will be talking about. Will he survive? They are setting the agenda and it is bang out of order.
But then again, though, you look at it this way. Man United, well, they're showing that Manchester United is still the main product in the Premier League. It's Manchester United.
Okay, I agree with you. Manchester United are the biggest product, okay? But there's an agenda here, okay? Manchester City win 4 Premier League titles. So I'm going back, right, to what I've said previously, right? I would have preferred Manchester City to win the league. And I've said this time and time again. It doesn't matter if Manchester City win the league. No one cares. After 2 weeks, it's over. I've said it time and time again. I live here. I'm in Manchester. And all what matters when we play Manchester City is Derby Day. They are irrelevant. So on that side of it, when it comes to Manchester United and Manchester City, no matter what Manchester City do, they will never be as big. So they want Manchester United on to talk about the manager being sacked, not about Manchester City having 4 titles in a row, going for the 5th, okay? Manchester United are more newsworthy, right, when they do rubbish, right? And that's what they've picked them on, and they're going at United. It is a disgrace not to have Manchester City on to promote the Premier League and all what's good about the football. This is supposedly one of the best teams in the world, and they're not even on, okay? The Friday night slot, start of the Premier League. Here we go. Let's talk about how good the Premier League is. Well, they're not going to do that. They're going to talk how bad Manchester United are, how bad these players are, how bad Erik ten Hag is, his tactics, these players, everything. It is a disgrace, and they're going to get the right pundits in to slag off Man United because they've got nothing good to say about it. They'll turn around it, oh, the stature of Man United, they should never finish 8th. It's a disgrace and all that. That's what it's all about. And that's why I'm going into one now, and I've been going into one yesterday. And I agree with a lot of people. The media out there is absolutely attacking Man United, and they won't let go. That's what it's all about, getting eyeballs, getting clicks, and it's a joke. And unfortunately, some of our own so-called fans join in with what the mainstream media do.
Yes, I'd seen a comment earlier on saying that City haven't been first for the last 3 years. I thought they were first. Was it last season or the season before when they played Burnley?
I don't know.
But again, it's because of Manchester United's season last season where they finished in the Premier League. What's gone on this summer? Yeah. Because Manchester United are the biggest product in the Premier League. They want it as the first game, but it's not for the right purposes. It's to slag off Erik ten Hag, the business that's been gone on over the summer, and they'll attack Manchester United. But us as Manchester United fans, for me, we're used to it because there's so many ABUs out there wanting to slag down Manchester United. And I think Erik ten Hag should come out, you know, chest out, and just be forthright with these actual pundits on there. Because a lot of them have had a lot to say about Erik ten Hag, and negative as well last season. So I hope Erik ten Hag stands firm and gives it him back.
I look at Erik ten Hag.
You know, he's our manager. We've got to support him. We've got to back him. Whether you think he's the right man or not, he's the manager.
I think Erik ten Hag will come straight out. I looked at his the way he held himself after the FA Cup final, and before it, he held fast and he went at the media. And he's got a clear run, to be honest with you. He really, I don't think, will hold back on everything what's gone on. He's already come out halfway through the season and sort of said, you're all telling lies. And I think he's just going to go at them. But when you talk about Manchester City, maybe not. I'm not sure if they were on last year at the beginning.
I'm sure they were. Was it the start of last season or the season before? I'm sure they were the first Premier League fixture away to Burnley.
Yeah, they might have been, but
the season before that with Manchester United, it was all really positive, wasn't it? We didn't expect the first season we had with Erik ten Hag picking up a trophy, finishing where we did in the Premier League, whereas last season, there was a lot of negativity there, and especially around the manager's job. So that's what sells with Manchester United, and they know that Sky Sports, and again, just pile it on and pile it on.
Yeah, they're going to pile it on, but let's get something right. There's a product here, okay? That's what's being sold around the world, the Premier League. Manchester City have won 4 on the trot. There's no bigger story in football in England than Manchester City winning 4 Premier League titles. Well, you would think it
would be the biggest story, but it's obviously not, and we keep going back to Man United is the biggest products, and like you said before, after City won the actual Premier League, a week, 2 weeks later, everyone forgot about it. We've still forgot about it. The mainstream media don't even want to know about it. All it is Manchester United every single day taking up all the column inches in articles online because it's Manchester United, and they just love it when Man United are under pressure and they want to spurn up negativity constantly. But we won't have it as Manchester United fans, will we? And I can see he's in the chat all backing the manager, loving it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this is a good thing, right, for Man United fans. This is where you get together. This is where you stay one, okay, and you back your team, okay. You know what's coming. Now, I go back, okay, all right. Some people might say, here he goes, he's going back in time again. I go back to when Man United got relegated, okay. More people, you couldn't get in this ground towards the end of the season because everyone wanted to get in and back the team and everything. And United got relegated, but let's get something straight. More people watch Manchester United inside this ground than whoever won the league.
To be honest with you, there's people in the chat who can clearly see, you can always smell an ABU, and you can see him in the chat trying to wind up the other Manchester United fans in the chat, and they're having none of it. And I give you my permission just to go straight at him, attack him. But that just shows you even people coming on a Manchester United channel to listen about Manchester United. That just shows you how big this football club is, and how everyone hates Manchester United who's not a Manchester United fan. Not everyone, because we do get people from other football clubs coming on and having a sensible conversation. But sometimes you get it in the chat and you can stay exactly where you are. And like I said, you've got my permission. Just go at him. Just give it him.
I'll put it the other way.
Just give it him.
The reason why opposition fans come on here, because they like the conversation. That's number one. The other reason is because they like to gloat when it's not going right for Manchester United.
Yeah.
Even if they're not in the same lung. Yeah, that's part of the football banter. So we welcome other fans coming on, okay, getting in the conversation and having the banter. It's just the abuse we don't appreciate because we don't give abuse out. We'll try and be constructive every now and again. I might have a rant. Kieron might have a rant, but when it comes to Manchester United, okay, they are way, way above anybody else. 2 mediocre sides, what finished mid-table, because that's the fact, are on Sky promoting the Premier League, okay? And that tells you everything about Manchester United. But the agenda for that game is one simple reason, is to slag Man United off in every department, because there's not many departments, okay, you can turn around and say, that was great. You've got the FA Cup, Liverpool, FA Cup final, few more games dotted in, right? These games we even won, what weren't convincing, what we should have lost. It wasn't a good season, we all know that, and they're going to talk about the Premier League and Manchester United, and there's nothing good going to come, because the haters who they're going to bring on are going to slaughter Erik ten Hag and undermine his position for the rest of the season. And that's why I'm saying right now, the fans have to get behind what's going on at United. So Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are in. I'm not saying I wanted them in. I'm not their biggest fan, but I am backing them, right, to turn things round, and it'll be a process, okay? And we've got to get behind it because change is coming. And that's what I say. No one wants United to get up there. They want United to keep failing. It's the last thing they want is for United to be successful, which I am so happy about, because we will shove it right up them as time goes on, right? And then I will gloat and gloat and gloat, okay? but I actually gloat at Manchester City because I know they want to be Manchester United. And that's why we're first on, because of the worldwide audience of a mid-table side, because that's the reality, right? What are under pressure, and they're going to give it Erik ten Hag. Okay?
The way I see it, you take Manchester United out of the Premier League, there's no Premier League. You take Manchester City out of the Premier League still goes on. You know, you've still got the two teams like Manchester United and Liverpool, huge amount of history in it. The Premier League would still go on without Manchester City. The other way around, it wouldn't happen. Zami Yassi in the chat, cheers for your super chat. Arsenal are getting Osimhen. How will you cope? I'm not too sure if they are getting him, mate, where your stories are coming from, but I'd just like to know where you think you're going to finish next season as an Arsenal fan.
Can I comment on that?
Because you can't just keep finishing second, mate, and not winning any trophies with the amount of money you spend in season after season.
I'm glad that United aren't associated to the Osimhen, because, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think they're going to miss, if Arsenal sign him, they're going to miss him. At some point in the future, because he does
African Cup of Nations,
the African Cup of Nations. I mean, it comes round every so often, but there's your striker. So I think United might be looking at players what don't miss part of the season. So for me, going for that player is not the right option for Man United. When you want your main striker, you want him playing for Manchester United. And at the end of the day, Osimhen, he'll be away at some point.
Yeah, Clint in the chat says ESPN, TalkSport, Sky Sports, Craig Burley, Nichols, Kevin B, all haters. Let us know if there's any more haters out there who've just got that constant negative agenda about Manchester United. I'd just like to thank every single one of you today for getting involved, especially in the live chat. If you want to continue the conversation, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Bit of a rant.
Yeah, if you want to have a rant, let some steam off. We always do it. I'm sure that's why sometimes you come and get involved, but get involved in the comments below. Support the channel as well and smash that like button, Reds.
Yeah, I just thought it was the right time, okay, to bring it up about what is coming, okay? And they have set the agenda, Sky Sports and all the other TV channels, what'll be showing it, the game at the night time. No matter where you are in the world, that is the agenda. That's what they all wanted, okay?
Ansel, cheers for super chat. Just before we finish, forget Erik ten Hag, forget Ineos, back your team.
Yes.
And that's the one. And as Manchester United fans, we've got to stick together, because like we've clearly pointed out, the agenda is already going to start from the first game of the season. But we're used to it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another Manchester United chat. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.